Welcome to Determined to Succeed. I'm your host, Dawn Mullarney, also known as the Unique Connector. So I'm so excited to have Theresa on the show today. And so, Theresa, I want to kick it off of you've been in the major corporate world and switched gears and went into entrepreneurship. And so you probably had a picture painted of what you thought that this entrepreneurship journey would be like, but I would love for you to kind of talk about it. Has all the paint strokes gone what you thought the whole painting would be?
I loved being in the corporate world until I didn't. And then
Yeah.
it was time to leave, but as I was getting ready to leave, and this was years ago, I really had this whole picture in my mind. I was gonna leave, this is the kind of consulting I was gonna do, I was gonna, help people do this, and then I was gonna help them do this, and I had all these things in my head that I knew, and the picture was gonna be perfect, right? Because when you're
Yeah.
coming out of corporate, you have things that you're frustrated with, and you're like, "Oh, I can go over here, and I'm gonna have this other idea." And, what I learned very quickly is that picture, when it's all said and done, or when you're in the middle of it, does not go the way you think it's gonna go.
Mm.
And I know that I had to end up just being super flexible, and I had to be open to opportunities. And I think the more I was willing to sort of pick a different color or pick a different brush or, pick a different stroke or, pick a different tree or whatever it was that, I was looking at in my picture, I I became a better entrepreneur because I
Mm.
chose to say, where do people need me? Where can I best serve? And so when I started, the picture that I have now is very different, but wow, it's brighter, it's more impactful, and I'm loving it.
Mm. Well, I love that, and I think that's what's a great reminder to all of us that we may have a vision, which is great to have, but we gotta be able to adjust and to be flexible, and so this is where I kind of would love to even kinda go back a little bit of, you know, where kind of maybe you were in your corporate world and
Yeah,
what you even had to kinda gave you that nudge to even paint that picture of a
sure.
new vision.
Yeah, you know what? I worked for a very large healthcare organization, and I had fantastic opportunities. It really taught me a lot, but I can't. For me and my personality, I constantly felt rather like I was just battling, trying to make it better. I was
Mm.
constantly out there, like I wanted to make it better for the employees I had. I had a lot of employees under me. I wanted to make it better for my colleagues. I wanted to make it better for the senior leadership. And there was just something about my personality that I might have been a little bit too much of a maverick. And I think it was, come on, let's do this differently. And by the way, healthcare has over the years in some ways been able to shift to sort of be, COVID sort of forced them to be a little bit more flexible. There's a lot
Mhm.
of competing priorities, but for me, when I was in that healthcare arena, and I was like, okay, I want to go out and I just want to help more people.
Mm.
That's it. And the
Yeah.
catalyst was just I think I got burned out. I was
Mm.
just constantly exhausted. I was basically working 7 days a week, a lot of hours, and by the way, my heart and soul goes out to all the healthcare workers now, from physicians to administrators to the frontline folks. It is an arduous job. I just got to the point after all those years that I was like, "Okay, I have to go spend time with my family," became very important, and other things, and so it's kind of the typical story, right? And I left and I went, "Woo, let's be an entrepreneur. I got it handled." Yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe not
You
so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do. Don't say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, now believe me, I've learned well, I mean, in your experience, it's the ebb and flow of everything, right? And I
Yeah.
think again it goes back to my journey has just been I learned from anybody and everybody because I'm always looking to find someone that has done something bigger and better than I have so that I can
Mm.
emulate and then I can make it my own style. And so you just learn and you go over time and then it's like, okay. And then as you navigate just and as you navigate and are open, things doors open that you would never think they would open.
Well, and I think of that too, even if you reflect back to like way back at the beginning, like you didn't start at that role right away,
Right.
and that's the thing
Right.
sometimes we think with entrepreneurship is, well, we've done all this stuff. So like, you do have a leg up because you've
Right.
already done a ton of things, but it's
Right.
like you're still coming back to kind of ground zero in a way and kind of starting and doing things a little differently. But also, too, it's like it's that learning process that there's still more to learn. There's still more to understand about ourselves that maybe we've been ignoring, or
Right.
too, like you said about your family, kind of the similar to you is like we kind of hit that burnout moment. And then we realize, oh my gosh, we got to really focus on our family. And it's sad
Yes.
that we have to finally hit that marker to pivot or to switch
Right.
things. And so, even as you reflect now on your entrepreneurship journey and you even reflect to like when you first started, what are some pivotal moments where you're so dang proud of yourself of when you did a new brushstroke or a different
Yeah.
color in the painting?
Really, well, a couple of things. The first one that just as soon as you said that, that
Yeah.
came to mind, I'm way more confident when I'm reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for me, when I first started out, going to those networking meetings where it was, oh man, it was so painful for me because I wasn't really sure what I was like. And by the way, I had been speaking in front of a lot of people. I ran huge projects, like huge projects. But then all of a sudden you're this entrepreneur and you're like, okay. So
Mhm.
I think over time, just gaining that confidence and realizing we're all human, we're all in the same boat. It's okay. And layered onto that was showing up in the right places.
Yeah.
I don't know about you when you first became this entrepreneur, if you just were like showing up everywhere because you're like, okay, I just got to show up. But the time wise, you have to just really focus where you can show up. And it's not where you show up to get business. It's where you show up to make relationships.
Yeah.
And that was really, I mean, I've always been a relationship person. So that wasn't hard for me, but it was finding that right place to show up and build those relationships. And by the way, I have some relationships that I have built that are just have been lasting. And that in so many ways makes being an entrepreneur easier, making life easier for all the trials and tribulations. So that is the confidence and the relationship. And I also think being very clear on what you can do for someone. Like
Mm,
a lot of people have a lot of talents and we want to just help everybody and do everything. And the fact is find that thing that, and I talk a lot about this when we talk about, revenue models, right? It's find that thing that you do so well that people need, that you love doing, and quite frankly, that it gives you a great return on your investment. And I
mm,
think when I became very clear on those aspects and created what it was I wanted to do, it accelerated my business.
mm. Well, I feel like sometimes, a lot of us, which I know I've brought up even in the show before, is sometimes when things are so natural or easy for us and we know it even lights us up, it's
Yeah.
almost like going against the grain kind of what,
Yes.
the
Yes.
businesses are
Yeah.
niching down and all these things. And it's like, but it's easy. So why should
Yeah.
I focus on, like, should I be focused on something that's kind of maybe hard?
Right.
But then it's like, but wait, that's what people need. They
Right.
need what you're good at, what your strengths are, what you're passionate about. And so, too, as now your business has changed and evolved and
Yeah.
whatnot. And so what do you feel like right now is like you're in your bread and butter and you're in your bread and butter? Like what was that moment where you're like, yeah, I need to really lean into this because I know this is what I should be doing?
It wasn't, I gotta tell you, I kept looking for that epiphany, but it was never an epiphany. It was just, it was kind of growing, realizing, actually one day I got a phone call from my business partner and she said, I have this idea. And when you get a call from somebody that, is who my business partner is, you go, oh, I've got to listen. I've got to take that. So we had that conversation, but but it wasn't like, okay, we're going to do this. It's let's talk about it. What does it look like? How is it going to feel? Because partnerships are, you're in it, and we talk every single day. So, and I think when we started talking, we really looked where is the need for people? Like,
Mm,
where can we take our talents? Where's the need? But we also looked at, where are people investing their money? Where are the VCs investing their money? So we could, because we knew two things. One, where the VCs are investing their money, we could be successful. But where the VCs are investing their money, they've also done a lot of research.
mm,
When you think about McDonald's doesn't just show up any place. They do all kinds of research. That's why when there's a McDonald's, people will bring business in. Well, VCs are the same way. So when we kind of had that opportunity between Laura's and my experience, what we knew we could bring to help people where the world was changing, we're like, okay, this is it. But I will tell you, we've evolved. In fact, we're putting out a whole new program because times change. People need different things. And so it's that constant willingness to be steady and focused, but innovative and quick,
mm. Ooh, yeah.
right? You got to still be quick.
And it goes
Yeah.
back to what you said earlier too about being flexible.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Have you ever, I don't know if you've ever like, an idea comes and you're like, but I love that program. I love what I offer. I'm like, no, that was my first one. I just love it. And you hold on to it forever for dear life. And then you like, 6 months later or a year later, you're like, why did I just give that up? I could have opened my doors for so many other things, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah. Well,
gotta
and
let
think
it
of that
go.
too. Even in your corporate journey, you had to do the same thing too. You
Yes.
had to give things up and keep moving ahead. And
Yes.
that's where too, I think sometimes we think it's so different, but it's really similar things we've been through.
Right. It's the same thing. You still have to manage people because you have vendors, or your business is big enough that you have employees, right? And we're
Yeah.
very clear about our mission and vision and values for our employees. We know exactly who we are. They know who they are. They know how to show up. So it's the same thing there. It's the constant communication. It's the pivoting, it's the innovation. So yeah, so it's not really the only difference is if you're starting out, you're wearing all the roles, all the hats. So that gets a little bit tough on juggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I would say, now that you've been through the corporate ladder of
Yep.
things,
Yep.
you've had the burnout. Now you're in the entrepreneurial world. You're being innovative. You're changing. It's
Yeah.
evolving. Things are going, you know, it's been exciting and different and new. So what do you feel is going to be that moment where you're maybe going into that burnout mode again in corporate world? Like, what do you feel like is going to be
Oh,
trigger moments for
yeah.
you from
Well,
that learning?
you know what? I am intentional. I'm
Mm,
intentional so I don't get there. You know what? We're actually intentional at the company. Because if you're looking at all the data, the increase in mental health issues, it's our society is having a lot of issues, and I think for me and our company, we really go, does some are we what and a lot of times their work is really excellent, and then all of a sudden their work sort of goes down, and it's not
mm,
about why is your work down, it's hey, what's going on, something going on, you feeling tired, need to adjust what's going on. So I know that, and what I do is my calendar, it's very clear and intentional. Friday afternoons, I take usually all day Friday, I don't take clients, but
yeah.
Friday afternoons are blocked out. And I either try to go do something with friends, or I do something with a client that has become a friend, and we go have coffee or lunch, or I go play golf. And then on my calendar and for those people who know me, my nieces and nephews are everything to me.
Mm,
So their games, soccer, baseball, hockey, are all on my calendar. So I intentionally go to get that's my joy, right? That's my
yeah.
joy. The other thing is I'm very intentional on sitting on nonprofit boards. So I sit on the She Angels Foundation board, And that to me is where I'm at, so I can give back, because giving
Mm,
back also, just, it fills my soul. It really, really does.
yeah. Well, and I feel like it's almost kind of a reset of what's bringing you joy.
I love that word. I love the word reset. We
Yeah.
have to reset. And it's not that you have to wait until everything has fallen apart. Just breathe, reset, and it's hard. And listen, I give parents, I don't have kids myself, so but I see what parents are. I see what my mom did. I see what my sisters are doing. I see what my friends who have kids are doing. And it's hard to just stop and reset. And as entrepreneurs, it just adds that flavor. But, you know, it's if you're not taking care of yourself, we just surely can't take care of our clients.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And now that you've, had even this time to reset, to rethink of things, change the painting of the picture that you imagined, be happy that the picture changed, maybe for the painting, I guess you could say.
Every day,
Yeah.
every day I'm happy, intentionally happy.
Intentionally
Because when
happy.
you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, I've got to put my feet on the ground. I
Yeah.
got all these things to do. I got to pick up my phone. And when I don't wake up like that, I go sit outside. My dogs kind of, put you in a good mood because they just seem to always be happy.
Yeah.
Um, and when I'm not feeling, here's the thing. I'm joyful. I'm grateful. Happy
Mm.
is sort of that thing that you put out. I think it's the thing that we're happy, we're good, we're laughing, we're having a good time. And you've seen me. We've had conversations. We've been to an event
Yeah.
together, and it's about being happy and exuberant. But I think the gratitude, you have to have the gratitude. And when I am not happy or I'm frustrated or I'm just, honestly, there are days
Yeah. We're all
I
human.
I just have to put the brake on and say, "Wait, wait, 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 wait," and turn around and go, "Oh my gosh, you know what? My friend just texted me. Oh my gosh, I just got a new picture of my niece playing soccer." Or, "Oh my god," and I just have to reframe, um, because I choose to be doing what doing. Every day I
Yeah.
choose it. Because quite frankly, I could go back to doing this or that, or, go back to, but I choose to do what I'm doing because it gives me, that flexibility and that freedom. And, that's why now our businesses, that's what we're helping people do, build their own flexibility and freedom in their business. Because we know, myself, my business partner has her kids, and, we know that that flexibility and freedom is important because it allows you to be happy and it allows you to stay in that gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And I guess it even goes back to what you said earlier too about helping people. And I think that's where, how you've evolved your business even too, but it's also, we have to do it too. We have to do that
Yes.
hard work. And we almost too, I feel that you and I are kind of, very similar in different ways where, a lot of our life was so focused on business and corporate and how to make it better. And, the business and profitability and all
Yeah.
these things where sometimes we got to be present in the moment, but also do that even at home life of like,
Yes.
what's filling up the cup here for us
Yeah.
at home? What is bringing us joy? How are we getting things done and being, the family that we want to be, where it's kind of like switching gears, where it's almost like your home life is almost like got to be just as important as what it was like at
Yep.
work and business.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like trying to adjust those gears, but to realize like, why am I not using those tools in just my normal everyday life and to
Yeah.
really fill my cup up, to be present in moments, to have that gratitude. You would do that in the corporate world too, but it's sometimes you just would avoid it when it was something about at home because it was
Yeah.
like home life, but it's
Yeah.
really all kind of similar, but just in a different way.
I agree. I agree. My mom, the other day had to remind me because I try to visit mom. She lives pretty close. So all three of us
Okay.
girls, I have two sisters, and, we take turns, go visit mom, take your groceries, of course they have very specific roles and I have very specific roles, but, my
Uh-huh.
mom in her lovely way just reminded me that I was there with her and I
Mm.
just needed to spend 2 hours with her. Like, so I just put my phone down, I just, and we had a great time. We went, you know, grocery shopping, we went to the bank, but it was just she and I. We stopped and got lunch. And, that short 2.5, 3 hours we were together was more important to both of us than anything, because everything else happens. You can still talk to that client, you can still answer that email, you can still get to all of it. But I'm pretty, like, going back to that intention, I'm pretty
Yeah.
good at blocking time in my calendar for that stuff. It's just
Well,
because here's the thing. Otherwise, Don, it's not going to happen.
yeah.
I'm not that good. I have to put it in my calendar because
In
I'm
your
not that
calendar.
good at juggling. Yeah.
Well,
But
it's kind of like for me, which kind of just makes me think of too with your mom of like, I have to block in my calendar time to work out because
yes.
I wouldn't miss a meeting. You know what I mean? So sometimes that's
Yeah.
where it's like taking those concepts that we would do at work.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing that just in our normal life or just things that we know are good for us or good for our family? And
Right.
that's what's going to keep us going and fueled in order to keep running a business or getting more
Yes.
business, all the things.
Yes. I could not agree with you more. And people say it, but um, understanding your priorities will shift your business. And actually, I will tell you, you talk about the correlation between life and business and corporate and entrepreneurship. I had, when I took a new role, and I was a vice president of operations,
Okay.
my calendar was so booked, right? And what I would do is, if somebody else wanted a time, my assistant would be juggling the calendar and blah 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 blah. And I had this really wise leader who, she had been in leadership for many, many years. She's told me, she goes, the only person that controls your calendar is you.
Hmm.
You control your calendar. And so don't let people tell you you have to show up someplace, and then you're trying to juggle being late to that one, or, late to this one. Be intentional about your calendar, and you
Yeah.
drive your calendar, and you allow people to work around your calendar if possible, right? There's still some things that happen. And, that's kind of how I've led my entrepreneur life. It's my calendar. I know when I can meet with clients. I listen, partly the reason the Friday thing I don't meet with clients is I'm tired.
Yeah.
Meet me with me on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. But this is also why we automate people's businesses, because we get tired of doing the rote stuff, right? Meet
Yeah.
with me earlier in the week. I'm a much brighter, I'm wittier. I can keep going. By Friday, I've had all these things. So Friday is a really good day for me to just catch up with everything. Um, our joke
And have
is
your moment to reset for the weekend.
exactly. So
Oh,
yeah, our joke is there's no golf on Friday, because our Friday, I mean, no golf on Wednesdays, because our Wednesday is like client heavy, busy, busy, busy. So, but it's I will tell you though, it's good to have a business partner that has very similar values, and also is very family oriented.
yeah.
And
Ugh.
it's think about our communities, your community, my community, people. We are like-minded in the sense, so it makes it easier because, okay, they understand what we're trying to go for. They support us in what we're going for. And I just, that's the other thing. Community is a group of people that can be your confidants and your advocates, and the people you can just get frustrated, things you can share. I think over the years I've gotten much better at being open and sharing with people, and
Mhm.
that I've built this beautiful group of people that are just extraordinary.
Ugh. Well, I love that. And it goes back to what you said earlier too about how important relationships are. And
Oh,
that's for me too. And that's where I'm
yeah.
thankful we got to meet in person, even though we live miles away from each other. And look at this. Now
Right.
we got to do this recording. And this is where too I love getting different perspectives from everybody, but also seeing that we're on a similar journey and we
Yes.
all are here together and we're not alone. And this is where I'm so dang proud of you for taking the leap, but also too it's sad that we have to go through those burnout triggering moments
Yeah.
to have to reset. And so hopefully the listeners are just getting some inspiration to maybe take a moment to reset, but also to know like we're all figuring this out together and we're all on this journey. So keep shining bright and keep making a difference. But I'm really thankful we got to meet.
Well, thank you so very much. And this is just, the continuation of our relationship. So love it, love it, love it. Love what you're doing. And thank you
Yeah.
for the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much.